think I was always fascinated with horses. My wife we was all sitting around the table talking about what could we do with our kids as a family. So my wife said, oh, she always liked horses. Well, I always had this little thing for horses, so I went out and bought one. You know, and it was one of the best purchases I ever made, you know. When my kids were very young, like Lance, he was about 12 years old. I remember us going to a horse auction, and I wanted to buy him a cowboy hat, and Lance refused the cowboy hat. He said, Dad, because all that's doing is imitating a white man. You know, he was just 12 years old. Then that's when I realized that he didn't understand the history of the black cowboys, the black West, and the contributions that African Americans played in it. But there's a history that was lost. Even when we were into black history in the schools that was very popular, they never taught about the history of the black West. We moved in here to start a youth program to work with the youth, primarily in the Temple area. That's where it all, because I spent 30-some years of my life in Temple. So we take the kids out of the North Philadelphia area. Primarily they come from North Philly, but now we take them from all over the city, especially what's going on in the city with all the crime and whatnot. We bring the kids down here during the summer months just to get them out the neighborhood, expose them to the horses, and you know, we have them riding, but the whole thing wasn't designed to make riders out of them, but it's just to get them out the neighborhoods. Well, horses teach us a lot about ourselves, you know, and it teaches, for example, there are 3 human emotions that are incompatible with communicating with a horse. It's anger, fear, and patience. If you have any anger in you, the horse is going to pick it up and you're not going to be able to communicate with the horse. So it teaches how to control your anger. Same thing with fear. If you have this fear running through you, they'll pick that up and you're not going to be able to communicate. So once you learn that you cannot communicate with this animal, if those 3 things are present, then you learn to get rid of those 3 things. So that's how it helps you. When we bring, say, like a young kid in here, 7 or 8 years old, that's never been around a horse, just seen them on TV, they're terrified. Horses, because they're intimidating. Then once we start to working with them, you know, we get them to the point where they'll lead this big animal. Can you imagine what that does to one? You know, 2 days ago they was terrified. Now they're leading this big, huge animal, you know, just with his fingertips. And it also teaches that you can get things, except young people, you can get things out of life without taking them. See, you ain't gonna take nothing from a horse, you know. You're not gonna hold pulling. They measure stuff in horsepower. You know what I'm saying? So you have to cooperate with this horse to get this horse to cooperate with you. So it teaches cooperation. You know, that's where the self-esteem and all that other thing. And it's one of the things I've been doing for 30-something years is researching my family, because I think it's nice to know black history, African-American history, but it's best to know about your family, where you're from, you know, to get a better understanding of what's happening to you. So that's another thing I talk to young people about, their family history, and then you get into the black history and all the other stuff like that. So.